The way we communicate with people has a great effect on our life and our lives of other people around us. Your brother, your sister, your mother, your best friend, it doesn't matter. How you talk to them and how you communicate, how you look, the way that you hold yourself, people read that and people hold that to you. Today, I want to be discussing some things that I learned in Communication 110 and things that have helped me in my life and through past. And I will be sharing with you a story about me and my own brother and where communication has helped me learn and take turns and to help both of us compromise and make decisions better to help both of our lives. What we will be discussing is direct and indirect communication, effective and appropriate communication, and body language. Because it just so happens, this whole story revolved around a little bit of body language. Now, it goes back to when I was about 16 years old, maybe 17. It was about 5 years ago. Me and my brother, we had been going through a little bit of a confrontation lately. We had been arguing a lot, and it had been arousing because I was much bigger than him, and I kept growing and growing bigger than him. And he's my older brother. He didn't like to see his younger brother getting bigger than him. So one day, he was staring at me. He was giving me a look, mean mugging me. You ever been mean mugged? People get angry, start looking at you like, what? What are you gonna do? This is what my brother was doing to me. Now, at first, I didn't think much of it. I said, it's my brother, whatever. He's just angry. He's just a little bit jealous. What am I going to do? But his body language, the way that he was holding himself, really told me otherwise. So I began to look further into this. And while he was sitting there, looking angry, looking tough, trying to size me up against the side of the wall, I thought to myself, okay, how am I going to go about this? Now, there's a couple of ways I could have done it. First, I'm going to tell you the way I went about it. I walked up to him and I pushed him. Well, let's go ahead and say that was direct communication. After I did that, things really jumped up. He wasn't afraid to be effective against what I just did. He started pushing me, and our communication went from talking and body language and just looking to screaming and yelling and hollering about, well, we didn't really know. Was it because I was bigger? Was it because I was jealous? We don't know. All I knew was that he came out, pulled this guy out of the mirror, staring at me like he knew something, and I walked up to him and didn't know how to handle it. I was young, yes, and now this communication has helped me open up and realize what I could have done. Looking back on it now, I realize I could have just gone up to him and said, hey, what's the real problem here? There's something obviously on your mind. Maybe it's a respect issue. I'm not sure, but you could talk to me and let me know that way. That would have been direct and also very appropriate, avoiding the whole circumstance of a fight and maybe not even the whole yelling situation at all. Instead of going up to him while he was standing there looking tough and looking mean, and I walked up to him looking tough and looking mean and begging for a fight, I should have walked up and said, hey, we can go about this as brothers and sit down at a table and talk, and we don't have to end this in a fight because, well, nobody wants to fight their own brother. The appropriate and effective way of going about this would be direct, or it could have been indirect. But the direct path is what I chose, and it led me the wrong way. What communication has helped me learn is that by reading people's body language, using communication the right way and the effective way, you can go about situations and completely avoid confrontations that you don't need to have. For instance, in everyday life, maybe your roommate, maybe your friend, maybe he's just bugging you, maybe he's kind of giving you an awkward glance. Instead of saying, hey, what the hell are you looking at me like that for? Say, hey, maybe there's something we can talk about. It's appropriate and it's direct. You can also be indirect. You can say, hey, I don't know why you're looking. You do not want to go out, turn into the bad guy, and start trying to fight. Nobody likes that. And while it may be effective, it's not appropriate. Body language is everything. And I learned that through this class. And it's easier to read when you know what you're looking for. Happiness, sadness, and aggression are very easy to read on. Direct and indirect communication are two ways of going out and finding the median between those things and getting those emotions evoked to them the appropriate way. You don't want to arouse anger in somebody angry. It's going to make a bad situation. If you can go about it and talk to them the right way, you'll be able to sit down like civilized people and have a conversation rather than fighting, like me and my brother unfortunately did. Now looking back on it years later and learning this through this class, I've realized, hey, me and my brother never have to fight again. Maybe I don't ever have to fight anybody again. Now I know how to read people's body language and use communication the correct